Sorry, class, I had some technical difficulties there. Don't know what happened with my new iPhone 7. Not what it's cracked up to be, obviously. But let's continue with part 2 of this video recap. Where we left off, we had the group answer for question 3, talking about how Montezuma showered Cortez with gifts of gold, beautiful flowers, and turquoise jewels. Really rolled out the red carpet for Cortez because he believed he was the second coming of the god Quetzalcoatl, and in fact handed over the entire Aztec Empire to Hernan Cortez. What a stroke of incredible luck for the Spanish. And so everything seemed to be going so well for Cortez. But at a certain point, just like in the last document, the mood totally changes. And in fact, the author of this document says it was like suddenly everybody was taking psychedelic mushrooms, that they were on a drug trip. They were so confused by what happened next. And what happened next was that Cortez kidnapped Montezuma and took him prisoner. Dave Sparks, I really liked your vivid and lively description of this moment. At this point, the Spaniards sprung their trap. They had Montezuma contained so he could not order his people to resist. The people had no idea that the Spaniards were not the gods that their leader had them believe they were. Now keep in mind that the Aztecs had never seen a gun or cannon, let alone hear it being fired. When the Spaniards opened fire, this resulted in mass confusion. Everyone was probably running around in a daze. Punch drunk would be a way to describe it. I like that. But Chance Stodchill, you hit on a very important aspect here. In addition to the guns and weaponry and the effects they had, you said, also, I believe that the fact that Cortez was supposed to be godly confused them even more due to his actions. And I think that's very significant because they thought Cortez was a god, and the Aztecs were treating Cortez the way that, according to their culture, you were supposed to treat a god. Really being very hospitable and very humble and very worshipful. And Cortez didn't act the way a god was supposed to act. Instead, he acted in a violent way. And that confused the Aztecs. This is really a huge cultural misunderstanding that is taking place here at this moment in the document. And when our cultural framework is disturbed, we really don't know what to make of that. We don't know how to make sense of it. And I think that's what you see here. Why did Cortez take Montezuma prisoner? I mean, he was handing over the kingdom to Cortez. That's a very interesting question. There are many theories you could come up with about that. My own theory is that Cortez probably didn't believe his good luck. It must have seemed too good to be true. And so he did what his instincts as a soldier told him to do, which was to take military action. But if he hadn't done that, maybe the whole conquest would have been very peaceful. All right. Question 3, I asked Group 3 to talk about the disease of pustules, which we call smallpox, and the effect that it had on Aztec communities and society. And your group answer was very good here. You said the Aztecs suffered a great deal due to the contagions brought by the Spaniards. The lack of resistance to the virus caused by lack of contact with the outside world ultimately caused the great downfall of the now ancient civilization of the Aztecs. This virus caused mass illnesses that caused localized and widespread pustule formations on the body, pain, misery, and paralysis. Not only did this virus cause a weakening of the general population, but caused a decrease in the military ranks. Very good. Candarius Silas, though, you hit on something that was not mentioned there, I think is also very important. You said simply, pustules or smallpox also made it impossible for people to see about others. In other words, to care for others. They were so sick and so weak themselves that they simply stopped caring about their neighbors, stopped trying to help them. And when that happens, what you see is a society that is falling apart, that really is in a process of collapse. And it's a very poignant image, I think, we have here of the devastation that the Spaniards unwittingly brought in the form of this disease, smallpox. All right, good job, all groups. And I'd like to see even more focus thread discussion as we move into Module 2. And I'm really, really looking forward to those conversations. Thanks.